everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today's video is mostly an Ulta haul. There are a few items from other places that I'm going to be talking about. Mostly it's a order that I placed from Ulta, and it was actually funny because it was the day that Sephora was having, I believe it was like one of the last days of the VIB sale, so like their 20% off sale, and I was all set to order from Sephora, but I went over to Ulta just to see, and Ulta actually had better deals. They didn't have 20% off, but they had like various discounts, a couple of items there too that I wanted that weren't at Sephora, and then I got a couple of like gift sets, and this I'm actually going to start out with. This was, I believe it was spend $75 and you get a free bag of goodies, and that is this bag. I'm going to go through that first, but it's just a bunch of samples, and it's cool because they let you select from 3 different options which one you want. So if there's samples in there that you specifically want to try, you can pick that bag. So that's what I did. But a lot of fun stuff in here, so let's dive right in. Actually, hold on. Before I get into that, I have to give a huge thank you to the subscriber who sent me a package. I think it had been sitting in my P.O. box since September because my P.O. box is in Madison and I don't live in Madison anymore. I have to really make an effort to check it when I go to Madison, but somebody commented on a video asking if I had gotten the package that they sent to my P.O. box, and so last time we were in Madison I made sure to go to the P.O. box. I made sure and I checked it, and I had a package from her, and it was the sweetest thing. She must have watched my video. I'm guessing it was the Sephora VIB sale wishlist video that I filmed a couple of months ago, where I talked about the e.l.f. Beautifully Bare Lash Tint Mascara. That was my favorite mascara for lower lashes that has been discontinued, and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I was talking about wanting to try the IT Cosmetics one, but I was just talking about how frustrated I was that one was discontinued, and I've mentioned it in other videos too. So anyways, she sent me one. How sweet is that? I'm sure her supply is limited too if they're discontinued, so the fact that she sent one of hers to me is so sweet, and thank you so much. She also sent me the e.l.f. Cream Blush Palette, so sweet. It just really made my whole day, like my whole month really. It just, anytime a subscriber sends me things, which is not that often, it just really means a lot because it means that they were touched by me, by my videos and stuff enough to take the time and the money to send me something that they didn't have to at all, and it's just really sweet. So I just wanted to say a special thank you to her. Thank you so much. I am going to write you back. Okay, I just had to get that out there because that was like the sweetest thing ever. So moving on, let's dive into this. So like I said, this was with a $75 purchase at Ulta, you get a bag free. But I thought it'd be fun to go through because they do deals like this a lot, and it's often a lot of the same samples. I have a little foil packet of the Philosophy Hope in a Jar moisturizer. Have not tried that, so that will be interesting to try. There is oh my gosh, I'm spilling stuff. There is a little baggie here of some Biolage products. This is the Hydrosource shampoo for dry hair and the Hydrosource conditioner. So I'm glad I got these. Usually I feel like they often give you volumizing things in samples, and I don't really need any volumizing. So there is a little sample of Clinique Happy. This is a classic. I remember when I was in high school, girls were wearing this. Ooh, there's a L'Oreal Voluminous Primer Base Mascara. I recently just fell in love with the CoverGirl mascara primer, so I'm excited to try this one. It looks like a squeezy tube, but it's hard, so I don't know. Patchology Restoring Night Eye Gels. I have tried these before. I think I even have one set still that I can use. I love Patchology. I love their lip mask. I love their eye masks. What else have I tried? Their foot mask. I love their foot mask too. So these are awesome. I will definitely be using these. There's the Laura Geller Lash Boss Major Length Volume Curl Mascara in the shade Black. Have not tried, I don't think I've tried anything from Laura Geller. No, I tried like a glowy CC cream or something once, and I didn't really like it because it was like a disco ball. But I do remember one reason I picked this sample bag was because it had a few different mascara samples, and I am running low on mascara, and I'm also trying to do a no-buy in 2019, or not a no-buy, I'm trying to do a low-buy in 2019, which I'll do a video all about my rules and everything for that in the future. But I wanted to try some smaller versions of mascaras and just kind of also have some in my collection for 2019. This looks like a perfume sample, Paco Rabanne. I don't know, 1 million. Hold on, let me just smell this since I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea how to describe scents, so I don't know what I was expecting to do, but I'm just curious. It's nice. I think I like it. Next we have Skin Laundry Hydrating Cream Face Wash, a foil packet of face wash. That's interesting. I don't think I've even heard of Skin Laundry, so that'll be interesting to try. There is a $5 off any Ulta Beauty collection purchase of $15 or more. From Origins, we have a Ginseng Refreshing Eye Cream to brighten and depuff, another foil packet. Oh, and then I have a $15 off any $75 online purchase. Holy cow, I didn't even know I had this. There is a Too Faced Glitter Glue Primer. So this is like a glitter primer for your eyes for eyeshadow, I guess. I don't know. There is a Bliss product. This is Lemon and Sage Body Butter. I bet this smells amazing. Oh my god. Oh my god. This smells so good. I think I have it on my nose though. Hold on. Okay, we're good. It's a Lime Crime. I didn't even notice this. Lime Crime Unicorn Hair. What is this? Let me see. It's hard. The writing is in white on like a light pink background, so it's hard for me to read. It doesn't even say what this is on here. Like I'm trying to, there's a warning about a lot of stuff you shouldn't do. Whatever it is, it looks like it's a temporary hair color or something. Tint is semi-permanent hair color. What? What color? I have no idea what to think. I didn't even know Lime Crime made hair color. Did you? Okay, there's a mini sample of the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. I have tried this before, and I actually think that I've given away minis of this before because I didn't love it, but I'm curious to try it again. My preferences for mascara always change. My technique for applying it also always changes, so I would be interested to try this again. I just remember not hating it, but not thinking it was worth high-end mascara prices, which is kind of how I feel about a lot of high-end mascaras. This is Armani Code Cashmere. Oh, that just took me somewhere. I'm not sure where. There is a L'Oreal Pure Clay Cleanser Detox Brightener Clay to Mousse. That sounds awesome. I'm excited to try that. Love trying new skincare. There is a MAC False Lashes Extreme Black Mascara. What? I didn't know. Ooh. This is like a little squeezy tube too, although it feels hard. That must just be a packaging thing. Is this a trend where like they make it look like it's a squeezy tube, but it's actually like a plastic tube? That must be a thing. Anyways, that's exciting. I've never tried any MAC mascaras. And then the last thing I have here is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It is a lip gloss in the shade Vintage. I know I have quite a few minis of her lip glosses, so I'm gonna have to double check that I don't already have this shade before I swatch it. But it's really pretty, like mauve, nudie pink kind of a shade, and I love her lip gloss formula so much. One of my favorite things from that brand. Right, and that is everything that came in that bag. I hope that wasn't too long. Alright, so the big things that I got from Ulta. I got the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry eyeshadow palette. Okay, so I knew I was going to get this. This was one of those things that I had in my cart at Sephora when I was going to purchase from Sephora, and I knew if I was going to purchase from Ulta, I was going to get this. This was like, I knew I was going to get this. Okay, I love Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's one of those brands that currently I buy every eyeshadow palette that she comes out with. I have everything since Modern Renaissance and quite a few of the limited edition ones before that. So I have Subculture Prism, I have like the Master Mario, and it's not to say that I bought this just to have it. Like I bought it because I'm really excited to use it. Okay, so I used this once and I loved the look I came up with. At first I was a little nervous because I'm not used to using cool tones. So I started with this slate, which is like a slate gray ish, sort of a little bit of like taupiness to it, but mostly gray, and I just was kind of like almost out of place like with cool tones on my skin. I didn't know what I was doing, but I ended up loving the look. This Bloom shade, I know a lot of people are saying that that's like the only pop of color and that it's kind of like a, not a scam, but it's like a trick. It's, you know, the pop effect or whatever, and I mean it is, like it's the only pop of color in here obviously, but all of the other colors are not bad. Honestly, this reminds me of like the Naked One palette or like a Naked palette, in that it has really like a nice range from dark to light of neutrals. It has a nice range of mattes and shimmers in here, and just, I mean, yes, it's a neutral palette, but I think there's a good variety. It really does remind me of the Naked palette as far as the tones. So I don't think it's a bad thing that it has the colors it has in it, and I just love that they threw in this pop of color because it's pretty unique. I don't have anything like this that I've found in my collection, and when it buffs out, to me it's buffing out to like a corally pink shade on my eyes, whereas I thought it was going to be more of a bright red, but I like it. It's just a really fun thing, and I think that's kind of one thing that drew me to this palette. Now, that being said, I have glitter all over my fingers. It's not as bad as it was when I first opened it, but I do have little bits of glitter on my fingers. When I first opened it, it was like my hands were covered in glitter, which I just think is frustrating. I hope that this goes away. Like after a while, maybe all the glitter that's loose will come off and I won't have that issue, but it just doesn't make sense on a makeup product to have packaging where something's gonna come off on your fingers and potentially go on your face. I'm sure this isn't eye safe, you know, it's just not, it just doesn't make sense to me. The packaging is beautiful, doesn't make sense though. Another thing that doesn't make sense, the first thing I thought, I want an eyeshadow of this color in this palette, like glittery, metallic, this like rich, kind of like a wine, I don't even know what you would call it, but that's what I was looking for in this palette. Just kind of assumed it would be in there because why would you make the whole packaging this color if it didn't have anything to do with the inside? Well, there's not one in here. There's this pink shade is kind of similar to Rose Quartz, but there's not this like deeper sort of maroon berry shade in this palette. However, if you pop over to the Soft Glam palette, there's this shade, and guess what this shade is called in the Soft Glam palette? It's called Sultry. So there's a swatch of Sultry. I mean, where do you think they got the inspiration for the name and color of this palette? And why didn't they put this color in the palette? I have no idea. I don't like, but like I said, so far I am really enjoying this eyeshadow palette. They were also doing a deal with Anastasia where if you spend a certain amount, whatever, it must have been under 45 because that's all I spent on Anastasia, you get a free little set, and so it comes in this cute little bag, and there were 3 products in here. So there's a lip gloss in the shade Toffee, which I actually do already own this one, I know for sure, so I'm going to be saving this probably for a giveaway. And then it comes with a Brow Wiz. Look at this. So it's teeny little Brow Wiz. Take the top off, and then, so I can't get this to twist up, so I don't know if I can use this product, but it's in the shade medium brown, so I don't know if it would work for me anyways. Thought it was cool that I would get to try the Brow Wiz, but it's not working for me, so I guess I don't get to try the Brow Wiz. And then it also came with a contour stick. This better be good because those last 2 ones kind of disappointed me. Mink. This is in the shade Mink. Alright. I didn't even realize they had contour sticks. I mean, this to me looks like their foundation stick, but it says contour stick. Yeah, this looks like a contour shade. It's kind of a cool brown. I guess I'll just swatch it. Ooh, that's really pretty, really darker than I thought it was going to be. That, I can see myself working that. Awesome. Okay. Hopefully that's a good one then. And I just love the packaging. It's just like their foundation stick. It's so classy for a mini. I just love minis. Next from Ulta, I got one brush. This is from BH Cosmetics, and this is one of their fan brushes. I remember when they released this collection, and they released just a bunch of different sizes and styles of fan brushes. I was specifically hyped for this release because I really wanted to try small eyeshadow shaped fan brushes. I ended up just getting one. They had several, I think, that were for eyeshadow, but I got the number 6, and it's just this tiny little brush, tiny little eyeshadow brush. I've already used this twice since I've gotten it, and I absolutely love this. This is such a good brush. What I use it for, which is what I intended to use it for, is buffing out shadow on my lower lash line. So I use this to pick up shadow, and then once I pick it up, I place it on there and I use it to buff out the shadow as well. And this has worked so well. I used it with the Anastasia Sultry palette, and I also used it with the James Charles Morphe palette, which I'm going to talk about in a second, which is what I'm wearing today. And I love it. I love it because it's like firm enough to place product, but then just the way the bristles are and the fact that they're tapered, not only are they tapered around, but they're tapered like in the front, it really buffs product out beautifully. So if you're someone who likes to rock color and sort of blown out color on your lower lash line, I highly recommend the fan brush number 6 from BH Cosmetics. I finally picked up one product from the Faced Tutti Frutti collection. I loved that collection when it came out. I wanted everything, but I got nothing until now, and I got one of their blush duos. This is Plumagranate. It is the Fruit Cocktail Blush Duo. This is what she looks like. The packaging is much different than I thought it would be. This like plastic kind of separate from the gold, and it's just, I don't know, it's different. And it smells like it's trying to smell like fruit. It's interesting because so there's 2 shades in here obviously, and the one on here that I thought was going to be very shimmery, it's actually much more glittery. There's like chunks of glitter in it. Okay, no, it's got a sheen too, for sure. It's not like, it's not matte, it's got a sheen, but there's lots of chunks of glitter that I can just see in the pan. And then the other one also has a little bit of a sheen too, so that's really pretty. Let me swatch these. So those are beautiful. The only trouble I'm having right now is the last 2 times that I did my makeup, I haven't been able to wear this because these colors are so specific. They would not work with this eye look, and the eye look I wore before was with the Sultry palette, so that was like cool tones and then that like coral reddish pink, and it just didn't go with these colors either. So I haven't actually worn this on my cheeks yet, but I definitely will keep you guys posted when I do. But I really wanted a blush duo. I thought this was really pretty. The packaging is just so cute, and yeah, I just wanted something from that collection, and I figured I didn't have any other blushes in this purchase, so I thought that was a good purchase. Next, I got my first product from Ofra. This is a highlighter. This is actually a highlighter quad. This is the, let's see, Winter Heat Wave. So first complaint, I don't want to be like complaining in this video, but I'm just going to kind of tell you guys, like, first of all, what made me want to buy this is because I've always wanted to try Ofra highlighters. I've never tried them yet, and this is a quad. So there's 4 of their permanent shades in this quad. And that was pretty much what sold me on it, because I wanted to try all of their shades, and I've always thought, like, they always come out with these palettes and things like that, but the palettes are huge. They usually have a few of the highlighters that I want to try, but also other things like shadows, powders, bronzers that I don't necessarily want to try. So when I saw this that was strictly highlighters, it's a small little compact, it's 4 different shades that I get to try, and it's a lot more affordable than those larger palettes, I jumped on this one. One thing that's frustrating me right now is that it doesn't tell me what shades they are anywhere. It doesn't say it on this thing, and it doesn't even say it on the box. I remember online it said, like, I'm 99% sure that it said, like, the 4 ones that it said were all permanent highlighters, but now I don't even know. Like, I'm pretty sure Rodeo Drive is in here, but I don't know which one it is. I honestly don't, so I'm gonna have to look it up. It's just a little frustrating because I wanted to kind of get familiar with the brand and their products, and so if I'm using one, I want to be like, oh, I'm wearing blank today, but I can't do that because there's no names on here anywhere, so that's frustrating. But other than that, the packaging is beautiful. It's this white, very sleek, with a nice mirror on the inside, which has plastic that I have to take off. While it is kind of weird that it's 4 pans, these are really nice size, and I don't use a fan brush. I use like the Real Techniques highlighter brush that's like fluffy and smaller. It kind of could be like an under eye setting powder brush. Like, it fits perfectly in here in one of these little colors. And then of course you can mix them all together too. I am wearing, which one am I wearing today? This one in this corner is the one I'm wearing today. So I don't know what it is, but that's what I'm wearing. The last thing from Ulta. Bam! I got the James Charles Morphe palette. I did. So it's actually funny. I talked about this in a want or won't video where I said I wanted it, and I said that I knew there was going to be drama, or I knew that it was going to be a big deal, this palette. And honestly, I didn't know what a big deal this palette was going to be. I'm starting to see this trend where anything that an influencer does, like any influencer collaboration, is going to get way more scrutiny and heat and drama than just a normal release. I bought this palette having nothing to do with James Charles. Obviously I know who he is, but I didn't buy this palette because it has his name on it at all. I bought this palette because it reminded me of the Dare to Create. I don't think I even showed you guys yet. I'm sure you know what it looks like, but there it is. So I bought this palette simply because this reminded me of Morphe's holiday release from 2017, the Dare to Create palette. This reminded me of that because it's the same number of shades that one had, and it has these larger pans in the middle here of like your most used shades. That's what James said. Let me show you that one. This is the Dare to Create. So you can see similar layout, another very colorful palette, and one of the things that I had complained about with the Dare to Create was the fact that it didn't have enough light matte neutral shades, light shimmery neutral shades, and even just light colorful shades. Like, it's a very kind of a deep palette, you know. This is the lightest one and it's not that light. So that was one of my complaints with this palette, and I could see just from looking that the James Charles palette has more of those light shades. It definitely has the light matte shades, like the cream beige sort of bone colored shade here. It has a white, and then it has lighter, like, and then it just has a little bit of a better range. A couple, like this one is a shimmery light shade, which I'm actually wearing on my inner corner today. This is sort of a shimmery vanilla like off-white shade, really pretty. I had this on my inner corner today layered over the green, and I think that's going to be a really good shade to work with a lot of the colors too. If you want to make like something shimmery, you can mix it with this shade. So far I'm liking the range better. Here's my issue though. Well, two issues. First issue, I hate the plastic insert with the names. If you're gonna do that, you might as well just not give them names and not even bother making the plastic insert. Like, just don't even tease me with names, because I have no idea where it is. Is it over here? I think it's under my chair. Maybe it's over on my bed. I know I have it somewhere because I thought in my head I should keep this so that when I review it I can tell people the names of the shadows. Why in the fluff wouldn't you just put the names on the palette? I feel like, don't we know that that's what everybody wants? Especially YouTubers. I mean, maybe there's some issue with that. Maybe Morphe said no, that's too expensive. I have no idea. The Jaclyn Hill Vault palettes all have the names on the palette, and the Jaclyn Hill palette, wasn't that remade to have the names on it? So they obviously know that that's what people want. Obviously. Why wouldn't they do that for this palette? Are they going to remake this? Are they going to improve the packaging and, you know, re-release it? It's possible. You heard it here first. Anyways, okay, and then another thing I have to say is just about the fact that James Charles has said that you're supposed to use a specific base with a lot of these shadows because they're pressed pigments, etc. So I still haven't watched his video, and I meant to before I filmed this. I even told myself, like, you have to watch that video. I'll watch it before I review this, maybe. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know exactly what he says, but I did watch that girl Shay's video where she swatches every single shadow in this palette on her eyelids. And not only that, but she swatches with one eye with a sticky base like James recommends, and then she swatches one eye with her normal base that she would use when applying eyeshadow, which is a concealer set with powder. And that is how I normally apply my eyeshadow. I don't always use a concealer. Sometimes I'll use an eyeshadow primer, but I always set it with a powder after I use it. Usually it's like a base eyeshadow color, like I'll set it with, I like my Lorac eyeshadow, that kind of a thing. I will usually set it with an eyeshadow or a powder before I apply my eyeshadow, and that's just what I have found to work best for me as far as the shadows blending and just being more workable on the eye. That's just what I found to work, so that's kind of my go-to. So it was interesting for me to learn that James is specifically saying, like, a lot of these colors will only work or will perform the way they're supposed to with a specific base. And that, I feel like, is something worth talking about. I think the staining and the hives, you can talk about that if you want to. I just think that's going to be a very personal case-by-case basis. But what do you guys think about this situation? My opinion is James is an artist. He's a makeup artist. There's no doubt about it. He obviously had the opportunity to create his perfect palette, what he wanted to create. And I say more power to him. And if it happens to be something where the shadows only work a certain way, that's his prerogative as an artist, you know? I mean, if I were to create really anything, I would want to create it the way I wanted to create it. And I think it's cool if this in fact is true, that he created this to be this way, and it's not just some people are saying Morphe's trying to like unload some crappy shadows. If this truly is what he created, I think it's awesome that Morphe let him do that. However, seeing as Morphe is the brand behind this palette, Morphe is the one producing this palette, selling this palette, and marketing this palette pretty much, Morphe should take responsibility for the difference in this palette compared to their other palettes. Because of the fact that I purchased this only because I love the Dare to Create, if I didn't happen to watch YouTube, I would assume that this is supposed to be a lot like the Dare to Create. I mean, it's the same design, same layout, same number of shadows. It's not a stretch to assume that this is going to be a very similar one to the Dare to Create. I mean, so far, I honestly can't speak to what it is, but clearly from what James is saying, this is not supposed to be like really anything else that Morphe has done. It's supposed to be kind of his own thing that he's created, and this is how it's supposed to work, and if you don't follow this way, then it's not going to work the way it's supposed to. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I think Morphe needs to take more responsibility for getting that information out there. I think it's fantastic that James is saying it and that people are sort of spreading the word as they go, but I think that if it's true, Morphe should be, I don't know, I'm not in that position, but if Morphe chose to sell this palette and it's so different from their previous palettes, they should take responsibility of letting people know that it's different, letting people know what they need to do. Maybe they should sell the primer that should be used with the palette. Like they should just include one in with the palette. That would be amazing. I mean, Lorac does that. Lorac's palettes are not much more expensive than this. Lorac's palettes, aren't they like $42? And they get a primer with every Lorac Pro palette. So if Lorac can do it, I'm sure Morphe can do it. So that's my little rant on that. I think it's a little bit irresponsible of Morphe to not be making an effort to inform people more. At the end of the day, Morphe's the one that's gonna suffer from this because Morphe's the one that that's gonna have to give people their money back. I don't think they're gonna take James Charles' check away for people who return the palette, but Morphe's gonna feel that hit. So really, just logically, they should be more responsible in that way. I don't know. So that's that. I feel like I'm doing a lot of complaining and ranting in this video, and I don't know, I like to talk about my thoughts. That's just fun. So as you can see, I have a very crazy look on today because I did try the technique of packing on the color rather than blending it out. And I used these greens because I love green and I was so excited. And I like this look. I am happy. I had fun creating this look and I like how it turned out. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of intimidated by this palette too. Just the fact that it's like, don't use it this way, use it this way. It's like, okay, so if it doesn't look good, it's totally my fault, right? Like, I don't know. That's kind of what makes me nervous about reviewing this, is that if I end up saying I don't like it, are people just gonna say, well, you didn't use it right? Like, I don't know. I'm gonna do a review. Let me know what you want to see too. I'm thinking of doing sort of a color comparison of this one with the Dare to Create. I can also include the Jaclyn Hill Vault in that video, the Jaclyn Hill palette in that video. Let me know what palettes you'd like to see me compare to this one. Alright guys, that is everything that I wanted to haul for you. That is everything I have to say. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.